we find in the novel series of Harry Potter, while also creating stunning visuals on screen. So I don't know, man. I've always been so annoyed with the mentality that the movies were good. I've always said if they were called anything else other than Harry Potter, yeah, then the movies were fine. But they were titled something else. But I do really feel like the only reason people have this skewed opinion of the films is due to nostalgia and the familiarity of what they grew up with. And I've said this before too. Like, imagine what Game of Thrones could have been if George R. R. Martin had finished the novel series prior to like finishing up the series show on HBO. If all of them came out, Winds of Winter, Dream of Spring, if all of it was completed, it's a very good likelihood that Game of Thrones would have been the greatest television series of all time. I really do believe that. And we have that chance here with Harry Potter if they get the proper writers for the show. And so I'm incredibly excited about it. And all this other stuff can come later, but it's in my opinion, it's time to do Harry Potter correctly on screen first, and then we can go from there about creating other things in this universe. But those are my thoughts on it, man. I'll turn it over to you to give your thoughts.
Absolutely. This is what pisses me off. Because this is what we've all been wanting. Like, this was a dream for years. Like, we said it for years. Everyone, all you guys that's followed us on the show for the longest time, y'all are like, we can't wait for them to do this. They can follow the details of the books. Last time I checked, there was a fucking body when Voldemort was killed. He didn't pull a Thanos and burst into the Infinity Stone into ash. I don't know what the fuck that was about. I don't know why they dove off the astronomy tower and merged into one. For the longest time, this was a fairy tale. This was a dream that everyone wanted to happen, but never thought it would actually happen. But I think it finally set in with people when they said they were going to do this. They were so shocked because it actually finally happened that then they're like, oh my gosh, well, what's going to happen? Because we know Daniel, Rupert, and Emma as the Golden Trio. Like, we know that. Okay. So, like, what was going to happen? You're going to wait another 70 years to when they're old, and then you're still going to be like, well, we shouldn't, like, do it, though. Because, like, they're the Golden Trio. That's like saying, okay, well, we get it. Michael Keaton, you're Batman. How many fucking Batmans have there been? Like, all right, like, fine. We get it. Yes, they were the originals, and I think you got to pay respect to the cast because it's great for what they did. And I think they will always be marked as the Golden Trio. When people see their faces, they know exactly who they're thinking of. They're thinking Emma as Hermione, they're thinking Daniel as Harry, and they're thinking Rupert as Ron. Like, they're same thing. Like, when you look at, but you need to give everyone else a chance, and this is finally the chance they have to do everything right. And if you haven't read the books, that's fine. Like, you can enjoy the movies for what they are. Even enjoy the movies and just watch them. But I think the reason people are so mad is because they're like, wow, I don't want to see my image in my mind of what the Golden Trio was go away. But that's not exactly respectful either, because we haven't given this cast a new chance. And also, you finally have the chance to do everything right, which I think that's the tough part, is because so many people think it was done right because they just like showed up in the theater and it decided this is what Harry Potter was. Now, that was like, I say it's like a perspective of Harry Potter. I mean, if you want to cut out the entire plot of Goblet of Fire and change it to whatever that was, I mean, sure. If you want to call that, do the cast respect, show some little Easter eggs in there, get some of the cast to come back, get everyone on board, bring in both the generations. This could be the chance you have to have the best, most successful fantasy show of all time. We know Harry Potter, hands down, is, I think it is the highest, if not one of the highest selling book series of all time. And we know what the original movies did. Like, this is your chance. I don't think anything else had the House of Dragon, I think, has a chance, but because it's not really Game of Thrones, I think the only way Game of Thrones ever had a chance is, say, if you brought back Jon and Dany. Like, I think that's really your only chance there, and it's already been so ruined in the fact of we've been waiting on the Winds of Winter for like 15 years. Like, sorry. Like, I think that chance is out the window. This is your one chance. And that's what I'll say about this, is I think people haven't really finally, they were so shocked because they didn't think this would actually happen, that now it's the chance to actually happen. And they're like, well, you know, we would love to see the Marauders. That's what we wanted. Did you really want to fucking see the Marauders? You said it in passing like 5 times. But when it came down to it and you saw the Marauders on screen, you know that shit, like, it would be cool for a minute, but you would still be in the back of your mind like, wow, like, what if we did see a new trio? What if we did see these details on screen? There would be something in the back of your mind that's like, what if we really got what we wanted and they did it justice? So that's my opinion. Like, so I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, and to touch on your point there where you said, you know, if we get the Marauders on screen, what's going to be in the back of your head? I agree with that, and I know this might not be how everyone feels. That's how I feel about House of the Dragon. As much as I love it and I think it's such a cool series, it's still not Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? It's still not Game of Thrones. Like I'm sorry, it's not season 1 through season 5.5 of Game of Thrones. But in any event, you know, because it was just something that we had never seen before, and it just kind of took the world by storm. And so I think very similarly about this is that the Marauders could be super great, a lot of fun. Even the founders, you know, we want to go back to the founders of Hogwarts with Salazar Slytherin, Helga Hufflepuff, Godric Gryffindor, Rowena Ravenclaw. Yeah, that could be fun too. But at the end of the day, this whole thing started from the original story that we grew up with, and that's going to be the thing that's prevalent in our minds. At least that's my opinion. So in any event,